My name's Snow White, and I'm here to say...
How are we feeling about this responsibility?
Pressure, now that you said it like that.
I feel very bratty.
Snow White is the girl you remember, but she's definitely made for the modern age, and there's such an emphasis on what it really means to be the fairest of them all.
Something that kind of emerged was this leader within her that I was so happy the writers wanted her to be. And the fact that it's born out of her upbringing, but she finds it within herself.
For Snow White, it's coming to terms with finding herself and finding her inner voice and finding a sense of agency so that she can be a just ruler and a wonderful queen.
Mark Webb and I kind of called it her third eye opening. And there's like a couple of scenes in there where she's speaking like someone who's been alive for much longer than she has. And that's something that I relate to, something that I've been told all my life.
Why are you the way that you are?
So she's dreaming all alone, sharing secrets with a stone. The girl I'm meant to be, is she a part of me? I've yet to find.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Disney is trying to salvage what little it can with this release of the new Snow White live action movie. We're only 2 weeks away from it releasing in theaters. And things really aren't looking very well for Disney because right now, Snow White is tracking worse than box office bomb Captain America Brave New World. Previously, on February 3rd, I believe when that article came out, it was tracking to at least pull in $65 million from its 3-day weekend. But now, box office projections plunge even lower as Disney braces for a looming Rachel Zegler financial disaster. Now it's looking at $48 million to $58 million. This is terrible for Disney, but the Disney's final marketing push is now in full swing. And what was the first thing that they decided to do? Well, allegedly, Disney scrapped plans for a Snow White UK premiere in an attempt to avoid any anti-woke backlash to the controversial adaptation.
I don't care anymore. I'm joking. I never did.
Now, I said this in a previous video. I would think that the UK would be a safe space for Disney to hold a premiere. It says what would usually be a big Leicester Square, I think that's how you say the name, event full of lights and cameras for a $212 million live action remake of the 1937 cartoon film. $212 million. Yeah, okay. Instead, there will be no celebration on British soil in an attempt to avoid anti-woke backlash. Instead, there will be a handful of tightly controlled press events. So in lieu of a huge premiere in the UK, you're going to just get press interviews. And they won't even be like really good press interviews. These are going to be a handful of tightly controlled press events in an event to minimize the amount of press questions that Rachel Zegler gets. So she probably won't even be able to answer certain questions, or she will go in with a list of approved questions for all of these journalists, as well as a list of scripted answers that Rachel Zegler can provide. And we kind of got a taste of that when we saw this article. Rachel Zegler says that she interprets criticism of her Snow White movie as fans' passion for the character. She was speaking with Vogue Mexico and addressed the negative reactions over her casting, as well as statements Zegler made about the original animation, and that kind of backfired on Rachel Zegler because she said, I interpret people's feelings about the film as their passion for her, and what an honor to be part of something that people are so passionate about. We're not always going to have the same feelings as everyone around us, and all we can do is do our best. Now that answer did backfire on Rachel Zegler, considering just a few months ago when she was speaking to Variety magazine, she had a completely different answer. I've watched women get torn down my whole life.
Shut up.
She basically blamed it on sexism and misogyny.
When it got announced, it was a huge thing that was like trending on Twitter for days because all of the people were angry. And so it was like
those people.
Very much this, yes. It was
the
this
people
awakening
that we need
of,
to educate, the people that we need to love into awareness.
love them in the right direction.
So that interview didn't go quite as well, but we got a sort of taste of what type of answers Rachel Zegler will be giving, because Disney really can't afford to lose any more money on this movie. And whether or not this decision to not host a London premiere is just them cost cutting or them minimalizing any type of press for Rachel Zegler, especially right now with people speculating that there is a huge feud happening between Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler.
What does that mean?
You two clearly get along and respect and love each other.
no idea what you're talking about.
Hater! Disney does not want to lose any more money on this movie than they're already really going to lose.
Let's go out with a bang. Let's have a laugh at your expense.
This decision comes after Snow White actress Rachel Zegler was labeled a walking PR disaster for Disney, having made controversial statements about her role. Basically, ever since Rachel Zegler was cast in this role as Snow White, she's done nothing but talk bad about it. And it really came across as entitled and insufferable to a lot of people. So many people turned their backs on this movie. Not just people who don't agree with what Rachel Zegler says, but also Disney fans who don't agree with Disney making this live action adaptation and completely changing the story. And those people include David Hand, whose father worked on the cartoon, which won Walt Disney an honorary Oscar. Hand said that the duo would be turning in their graves as the original was made with good taste.
She's definitely made for the modern age.
You won't believe what we did.
And you know what? Fans kind of agree with them. Not just normie fans, but Disney fans as well. Everybody is pretty much united in being against this movie for one reason or another. We can look right through Disney's marketing strategy when they say, oh, we wanted to focus on the iconography of Disney's Snow White, and we're going to give you this marketing technique is so deceptive because they're showing you we were totally focused on, the iconography of Disney, and it's going to be a direct adaptation from the animated Snow White to this Snow White. It's such a deceptive marketing plan, and people can see right through it. Look at this ratio. This has 190,000 views, but it has been downvoted 24,000 times to 3.9k likes. People aren't buying this marketing technique of, don't worry, you want an adaptation? You want a faithful adaptation? Well, we totally focused on the iconography of Snow White, and that's what you'll be getting. You'll be getting a faithful adaptation. Nobody is buying that.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
Something that kind of emerged was this leader within her that I was so happy the writers wanted her to be. It's born out of her upbringing, but she finds it within herself. Mark Webb and I kind of called it her third eye opening.
Weird.
This trailer that was released 2 weeks ago has 2.9 million views, 161,000 dislikes to 6.6 thousand likes. Pretty much everyone is in agreement. They have no interest in seeing this live action adaptation of Snow White, starring someone who is so ungrateful to be given this iconic role that they talk down about this movie, especially at D23, at a Disney event. They talked down about the original Snow White classic that came out in 1937 that pretty much put Walt Disney on the map. None of these movies that came after Snow White would exist without this original Snow White film. And Rachel Zegler didn't seem to realize that when she gave these horrible answers at D23.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because, we cast a guy in the movie. It's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
Which caused so many people to turn their backs not just on her, but on this movie as a whole. And Disney knows this, which is why they're canceling their London red carpet, whether it be to rein in Rachel Zegler, whether it be because of the Gal Gadot Rachel Zegler feud, or because of their cost-cutting measures, because this movie is going to lose so much money. Who knows, but that is a huge deal that they're canceling that London premiere. Anyways, guys, that's it for me. Leave a like and let me know what you guys think in those comments down below, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.